everyone will be alright if I'm not live by satellite. It's a beautiful day, I'm running away. Don't bother to Facebook message or call me, 'cause I'm living.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Filmbox Podcast, the Summer Spectacular Edition. We're back again. I'm your host, lovely host, your friend, Aaron Souza, and I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, who are also your friends, Connor and Sam. I don't know where I was going with that one.
You never do.
No, I always try. I try to make it as chaotic as possible on the intros here. But we're back for our second film of the Filmbox Summer Spectacular, which is now the second time I've said that as well. So if you're playing a drinking game, get ready. Yep, Connor's already on it.
Mm-hmm.
So this month we're reviewing Call Me by Your Name, the classic summer movie from 2017. But yeah, so it's gonna be a good
You're
one.
thriving this morning, Aaron. I said you're thriving this morning.
Dude, it is morning and we are on our way. I didn't get to bed till like 2:00 last night. We're killing it.
I slept like a baby last night. I was in bed by 10. I played some Spider-Man until I was tired. I got all tucked in. Had a nice little dream. And then I had to wake up.
What was your dream about?
I don't know.
Oh, I just know that it was a nice little dream.
Yeah, I didn't wake up in terror, so it's a positive.
Mm-hmm. All right, so if you're not familiar with the way that this kind of themed summer is going, I saw you reach for it. I thought, yeah. I thought you were reaching for your drink.
No, I just need something to fidget with right now.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with the way this all works, so we've got a theme for the month, for 3 straight months, all based around summer. This first theme was what was it? Catch the summer vibes? Yeah, feel the summer vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And so last time we did Moana. This time we spun the wheel and we landed on Call Me by Your Name, which is a movie I had not seen before. I don't know about you guys, if you guys had seen it prior to this, but this was my first time watching it.
I haven't seen it.
I saw it for the first time this year, and now I think I've seen it like 4 times this year.
Oh, wow.
Well, peek behind the curtains. I am going on a little trip to Italy with my sisters coming up, and I mean, this movie takes place in Italy, so why not just
famously
get inspired?
Famously takes place in Italy.
Somewhere in Italy.
Yeah. All right. Well, without further ado, let's roll on into the before the review housekeeping that we got to take care of. And I'll start with the cast and crew. So, Call Me by Your Name was directed by none other than Luca Guadagnino. I think that's how you pronounce it. And written by James Avery, who did the screenplay. And based on Call Me by Your Name by Andre Aciman, the book. And produced by Peter Spears, Luca Guadagnino, Emily Georget, Rodrigo Teixeira, Marco Morabito, James Ivory, and Howard Rosenman. And a lot of cooks in the kitchen on the production side of things. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie with that many producers.
It's not something I've ever paid attention to, but that was
A lot.
just hearing you struggle through some of these names. Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, you want to watch me struggle through a name? Cinematography by Sayombu Mukdiprom. I don't know why I said it like that. That was a bit. I'm sorry. And edited by Walter Fasano. This movie stars Armie Hammer. It's great start.
Why'd you start with him?
That's just, he was first on the cast list. Timothee Chalamet, Michael Stuhlbarg, Amira Kassar, Esther Garel, Victoire Desbois,
The boy.
Dubois, Vanda Capriolo, Antonio Ramoldi, Elena Bucci, and Marco Sgrosso. Well, that was a lot of Italian names, which makes sense for a movie released in Italy, or filmed in Italy. Released in Italy.
Released.
Yep. I am.
We had to make a trip to Italy to even see this thing.
Yeah, right.
And now you're going back
We're
again, right,
dedicated
Connor?
on this channel. Yeah, Connor's been 5 times now. They only play it at this one theater in a small town in Italy. Sam, save us from this and go.
All
over
right,
reviews.
Call Me by Your Name on the good old Rotten Tomatoes score has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Damn.
That's a Tomato Meter critics. With an audience score of 86%. So it's pretty high for. I was reading through like Letterboxd reviews and like these reviews, and either you absolutely love this movie or you absolutely hated this movie.
I don't know why anyone could really hate this movie, but
a lot of it was because he was 17. But I don't. Yeah. So they were a lot of people, and
I see. People were not about the statutory rape, I guess.
In Italy.
In Italy.
So, a couple of good reviews I got. Do we want to start with good or bad?
Oh wow!
Before you
even get there, because I was just curious. The age of consent in Italy is 14 years.
Oh Jesus! Well, I guess it's All right.
Timothee Chalamet was not 17.
No, he was. Yeah, he was not.
He was not.
He was in his 20s.
Yeah.
So.
Another classic Hollywood is hiring 20-year-olds to play teenagers.
Outer Banks.
He does look it.
Literally. And basically any TV show that takes place, Euphoria, like any TV show that takes Zendaya was fucking like
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Zendaya was literally like 27 when she was cast in Euphoria. How old? Actually,
She's 26 right now.
She is, so I can't.
So she's probably like
okay. So
she aged up to get the part and then just went back to normal.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, she was probably like what, 23?
23, 24.
I think the first season came out when we were juniors in high school. Or
in
college.
High school.
College.
Yeah, so yeah, she was like 20, probably 23, which is like
that's fine.
Yeah, that's whatever.
But
I mean, yeah, go ahead. Let's not get on this tangent.
Yep, let's save us.
All right, so this is a real recent review, April 13th, 2023. 5 stars.
Ooh. Oh.
By Derwin T. This movie is one of the best movies I have ever seen. The ending scene left a pit in my stomach and really moved me. When watching this film, I felt something in me that I haven't felt in a long time. The pastel colors in the Italian town, with such utter sadness hidden underneath, is truly breathtaking.
Honestly,
I was gonna say it.
how I felt. I was gonna say like, did you just make up a name and are you just reading my review? But then I would never say the pastel colors, because I don't know what that means.
Well, I'm glad you just said that for yourself. Give yourself some more credit.
I'll give my credit where it's due, but like I don't know. Like as far as I know, pastels is like a style of short.
Pastel describes colors very.
Okay, so you didn't really know either.
No, it's like pale coloring, still vibrant, but it's not like bright.
khaki.
It's like chalky.
Right,
It's almost like chalky.
It's like
chalky.
muted
Yeah.
almost. Yeah. It's like muted colors. It's not like your
I don't like
bright
that
yellows
myself.
and your bright greens and stuff like that. This is great for the video portion of this podcast. Is just Connor adjusting his. We've got shaky cam going right now.
It's better. I just didn't like looking like up my nose.
All right. Now, a not so good review. Nothing wrong with the casting, locations, or acting, but the plot is paper thin. And I can't help but wonder what the response to this film would be like if it was centered on a hetero's love story, skirting all over the controversial age difference. There is no real build-up in tension to the main relationship. The plot unfolds exactly how you expect it to after 5 minutes of watching the film, and some of the lines were completely bizarre. If I wanted to look at a nice Italian scenery, I would buy some postcards. This guy really didn't like it.
But you won't get the pastels. You won't get that from a postcard.
You don't hear visions of Gideon in a past.
They probably don't have peaches either on postcards.
Oh Jesus! We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I would completely disagree. I don't think this goes where you think it would.
I think it's tough because it's like if you go into it knowing like what the movie's about, then yeah, you understand where the directions go. But if you go into it completely like it's like you go into it, I've never heard of this movie. I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything about it. It's absolutely subverting.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's touted as like, you know, you get the gay relationship. It's like, okay, so you know that they're going to end up together or whatever.
Well, I mean,
It shouldn't take away.
like even though like I knew kind of what this movie was about going into it, but like I didn't know at the end if one of them was gonna die or one of them was gonna move away or they're actually gonna be together and stuff. So like I didn't know where it was gonna end up. So
Yeah, and it
especially within like the first 5 minutes, like you have no idea.
Yeah, we'll get into it as we go into the story category. But anyways, you got anything else? Because I have one, a Google review that I want to read. But what do you have? Any other reviews?
that is all I have. Do you have any?
Okay, so I've got one Google review from Tyler Rose Cole on Google from 3 months ago. It says, honestly, this is one of the worst movies I've seen. It was very slow and boring. There is not direct plot or character development throughout the movie. I will admit the scenery is very pretty, but the story is not. It is supposed to be a romance, but is just full of perverted motives and pedophilia. Kind of fair there. Nothing grew through their apparent love story. They basically only cared to get sex out of each other. The family was rarely involved in Elio's life, and it all just was very odd and confusing. Elio is also a very strange, annoying character that is immature and doesn't know how to act, while Oliver is very different, although he starts to get weird towards the end and attaches onto Elio's strange behavior. Oliver is also very arrogant, and he randomly starts to ignore Elio without purpose, and then all of a sudden they have sex? ? It's
kind of like that's the
like,
point.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you didn't understand this movie.
Yeah.
And he just keeps going into like this dynamic between them and the story, and it's just like, dude, that's the point of the movie. Like,
yeah, like Elio's supposed to be like this little know-it-all little kid.
brat.
Yeah.
Rich kid brat, basically.
Like artsy fartsy, like, oh, I transcribe music in my free time.
Yeah.
Like that's the fucking point.
Yeah, and the point is like this is set in the 70s, and their
80s.
relationship is not supposed to be like, it's still very taboo, and it's 80s. But anyways, 12 people found that review helpful though. So all right, Connor, we're almost ready to get into the reviews, but give us a quick synopsis of this movie.
Yep. So if you guys are not aware, call me by your name.
Call me by your name.
It's the summer of 1983, and precocious 17-year-old Elio Perlman is spending the days with his family at their 17th century villa in Lombardy,
Nice.
Italy. Shut up. He soon meets Oliver, a handsome doctoral student who's working as an intern for Elio's father. Amid the sun-drenched splendor of their surroundings, Elio and Oliver discover the heady beauty of awakening desire over the course of a summer that will alter their lives forever.
Bum, bum, bum.
Call me by your name.
That's the only. I tell you what. The only thing, even before I saw this movie, whenever someone mentioned the name, that's the only thing I could think of. And while I was watching it, that's all I was thinking about was just that song. I hate it. I hate it so much.
It's fitting.
All right. Yeah. Well. All right. We ready to get into the review?
I am.
All right. Let's do it. Starting with the acting. What do we think about the acting of Call Me by Your Name?
I thought it was really great because, and we'll get into it a bit later. The story is very much just like you'll watch these people interact.
Yeah.
So it really relies on those interactions having a lot of meaning.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the main acting was I mean, it was great, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's very like character heavy, you know. But obviously, you know, Timothee Chalamet and Armie Hammer were both nominated for Oscars for this movie. So clearly they had a talent. My biggest gripe with it, I honestly could have cared less about anyone else but the two of them.
Really?
Yeah, I literally was not connected to anyone other than those two.
Because I was thinking, I put in my notes, like, the mom, the dad, and Martia were like, I thought they had very limited roles, but I thought they made the most out of it. Especially the dad.
Nah, see, the dad was one of my least favorites because his character nature was fun, but I don't know, I just didn't care about him. I just was like, whatever.
I think it's just something where, like, if I see like a healthy family in a movie, like, I'm just going to be drawn to it. Like, they have dinner together all the time. They're like reading stories together. They just like being around each other.
Yeah.
Especially like, and the dad too, he was very like, the relationship that he and Elio had, I thought was very, I don't know how to put it, but it was just so healthy to see. Like, like Elio could talk to his dad about like almost having sex with a girl. He could have that conversation about his relationship with Oliver, with his dad.
Yeah. It's very accepting.
Yeah.
Sam, what do you think?
I like Connor. I really enjoyed that the side characters did make the most out of it. Even the minor roles that they had. Every time they were on screen, like I don't know, they caught my attention. So
Interesting.
They all had purpose. They
Yeah,
weren't just
no, I
there.
mean, yeah, I can't deny that the characters definitely had purpose. It's just I could not connect with anyone other than the main two. I just, for whatever reason, I just wasn't. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think going through that, yes, but until the last scene with Elio and his dad having that conversation, I think that just escalated what I thought about his dad, and like I look back at the movie, I'm like, oh, this is all right. This is how he was and stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a fair assessment. I do want to talk about the chemistry between Armie Hammer and Timothee Chalamet. I don't know if it's because I've never like seen a movie where like a gay couple has been so prominently like at the forefront, but it was like crazy how much I was into their chemistry as well.
Well, especially because like the characters they play, like Elio, he's younger, he's very, as the summary said, he's very precocious. He's he think he has like everything within his mind.
Yeah.
And then Armie, he's like this otherworldly guy coming from across the world, and
It's free spirited and
exactly, like, but he has like a bit more just maturity about him. That kind of, like, they clash between like being mature and thinking you're mature,
yep.
which I liked.
Yeah. No, it was cool. I liked it a lot. All right. Are we any other notes to add for the acting portion of this movie?
I think mine kind of fall more into writing.
Okay. Well, let's go into the next category, which is story/concept. How do we feel about the story of Call Me by Your Name?
I like that it was just simply just watch this relationship grow or develop. Sorry, you go.
No, go.
No, I was just gonna say I like that it didn't need to have like not missions is such a bad word for it, but it wasn't like there was anything other to accomplish besides just this relationship and like his
Them
relationships
being in the
with
summer.
Yeah.
No, I mean, in terms of summer vibes, this definitely had it. I was way wary of it coming in. I wasn't sure.
I tried
you
to
were
tell
right.
you.
The summer vibes were there. I have a bit of a controversial take on this. I really think that there was a lot of filler scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to the point where, I mean, the movie was basically 2 hours long. It was just over, like 2 hours and 5 minutes or something like that. It could have been an hour 40, an hour and a half, and it would have had the exact same effect as it did. There was a lot of like, okay, but I mean, other than just showing the summary vibes, or just having a little bit more in the relationship, what's the point here?
Yeah. Like, there are a couple of scenes, like the one that sticks out is just like it was after Armie and Timothy were talking about, I'm just gonna call them by their names in the movie.
Oh, really? You're gonna call them by their
names?
By
Yeah.
their names?
Oliver and Elio. It was like after they were talking about his necklace, and Oliver was saying like, oh, like just wear it, like you just don't be ashamed. There was like a scene of him just like in a lake, and he just pops up and he has it on, and that was like the only purpose of that scene, was to just show that he is now wearing it.
Yeah. Same thing for me. The bloody nose scene, where Elio gets a bloody nose at dinner and then has to go like find an ice pack and ice it, and then Oliver comes over and comforts him or whatever. It's like, I don't care about that scene. It's not for me. I don't care.
It's like, it's just one of those scenes to kind of reinforce that like they are now closer.
Yeah, but I think it was
There's
almost
enough
like
of them.
They were hand holding, like, okay, now they're getting closer. They're being friends more. They're hanging out more. And are you ready for the next part? And it's like, I don't need the hand holding there and the coddling. I can see that play out. Can we?
How about,
Sam, before
I was
we
gonna
get
say,
into
how about the?
Go ahead.
Do you think the peach scene was?
Yeah, I was about to bring it up.
Do you think that was a?
The peach scene. I was very.
I was not expecting that.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, the first time. I mean, the movie came out 2017. He jerks off with a peach.
Yeah.
And then
weird.
And then Oliver's like threatening to eat the peach.
And then does.
I looked away, so I don't remember if he
does.
did.
He does take a bite of the peach.
Yeah.
And it's
But see, because like with that scene, I think what stood out more was like how just ashamed Elio was, and he was like, "Am I like a monster?" Like
Yeah.
what the fuck is wrong with me? That type.
Yeah. I in the same vein, I hated the scene of him sniffing Oliver's
Oh.
clothes. That was like, all right, bro, we're getting a little too. I mean, I get it was supposed to be like, oh my god, what am I doing? Like, is this real? Like, is this me? It's like trying to figure it out. Should I be doing this? I'm ashamed, but at the same time, it's like, you didn't need to have him sniffing his pants, dude.
Yeah, I think it all goes into like how Elio is written, of him just being so confused about what how he's feeling. But yeah, scenes like that, it was just kind of like, all right,
Whatever.
I don't need to see him like hump a bed with Armie's swim or Oliver's swim trunks around his head.
Yeah. How'd you feel about like towards the end? I mean, obviously we're reviewing, so spoilers because there's gonna be
This
spoilers.
movie also
here.
came out 6 years ago, so
Like 7 years ago. But how'd you feel about the ending? Not the ending, but like where they leave the villa in Italy and like we get the 15 minutes of them traveling. How'd you feel about that? Because I was not super bought into that.
I didn't mind it. I think they should have done a little bit. I don't know, more with a little bit. But I could see where they were going. Like they want to have this one last, hoorah.
Yeah, no, I like when they were just like running through the woods and they were just shouting each other's names. Because at that point they had gotten to the scene where like Oliver said like, call me by your name and I'll call you by mine, and this was like the first time where they can like just openly do it and they were just shouting it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but then like them kind of just going around more the city type.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they could have done more with it.
Yeah, it was just a lot of like, let's show their relationship, but it's like it's not needed. Like that part, you could have just kept it inside the confines of where they were for the majority of the story. But or just I don't know.
Well, yeah,
But I've been kind of trashing the story about this, but I loved it. I still thought it was great. So
the scene where they went into the town and they rolled up on the 3 or 4 people that were in the car and they just started dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to see like them actually like go to like a festival or a party or something like that instead of just this random group of three people
who listen to music.
And then he just throws
like,
up.
a festival actually.
Yeah, that was
dude.
funny. He like, as soon as like Oliver just starts dancing, he like cucks the guy. And he's like, "Let me just take your girl real quick and dance with her." Oliver just sits down and pukes.
Elio does.
That might be
Elio,
my least favorite scene in the whole movie because I cannot stand movie puke.
It's
like, it honestly it makes me want to throw up, like seeing puke in movies. So anytime that happens, it's like an instant like, oh, that's a mark off the score.
Yeah, someone who has like chronic headaches and gets sick kind of often. I get enough of it in my life. I don't need to see like someone just. Bleh.
Yeah, like I don't mind if it's implied or like, oh, they run to the trash can type of thing, which they literally did in the very next scene. They had the wide shot and he like throws up in the fountain. That's fine.
He was just drinking water in the fountain.
Don't show me. No, I thought he was actually puking.
Well, because then right after that, like they kiss again, which to each their own. But like that's kind of someone just
weird.
pukes. I don't really want to kiss them.
But anyways, that sort of thing is fine. But do you really have to like show the gross coming out?
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you.
But yeah, kind of going back just to the broader story. Like you're saying, this movie just kind of feels like a summer movie.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing to do really. Like, yeah, Oliver's character is like working under Elio's dad, so they have to do tasks or whatnot. But like, there's no agenda. There's no like, we got to do this by this or this by then. It's literally just like, all right, it's another day. Let's just go swimming.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I did like that. The summer vibes were pretty immaculate.
mhm. And then I
alright.
like. Oh, sorry.
No,
Last thing. I just liked how the ending was in winter. To contrast, like, you just had this summer of love, and now like you get that
It's dead.
It's winter, Tonica, and then that's when he gets the call, and it's just like heartbreak.
Oh, there is something actually I wanted to mention at this point. I like how it wasn't specifically said anywhere that like Elio is gay or Oliver is gay, you know, or the vice versa. Like they didn't strictly name the sexualities of these characters, and I think it's meant to be very fluid. I mean, Guadagnino and the original author of this movie, you know, they had tooled around with doing a sequel that's set a lot of years later.
Well, because that's where the book takes it.
Right. And like Elio just doesn't become gay all of a sudden. Like he still has intense feelings for is it Marcia? Is that the
Marcia,
one?
yeah.
Like, and he still has that, and he's you know, it's very fluid. It's not just like, okay, now he's gay, but he still has these feelings. He still has this attraction towards everyone, and I thought that was really well done, and the fact that it's like not concrete and like you build that barrier. I guess it's like it's very fluid. I appreciated that.
Yeah, because it's, even though like Oliver is more mature, like it's very clear that they are both confused by their feelings. Like they don't know if they do like love each other early on, or if it's just like just something of just kind of passion in the moment. But I do like that they were both like kind of like, what am I doing?
Yep, and they did that really well, and to match the time period as well, because it was a very much a time of like, this is kind of taboo. This is not really like the norm, and it's not, you know. And so like when they do interact and they do have these intimate moments, there's also, they take the time to show the aftermath of it too, and like the like, holy shit, you know, we can't do this kind of thing. But yeah. All right, are we ready to move to the visuals?
Yeah.
All right. How do we feel about the visuals? I've got things to say about this.
Go.
I think it was perfect. I don't have any issues with the visuals here. Between, like people have said in the reviews that Sam read, the colors, the pastels, gorgeous. The landscape, gorgeous. Scenery, great. But the things that stood out to me, the mise en place, which I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's basically like the stage setting. So how each scene is set, the props and the positionings of things, and it was, I mean, it was just phenomenal. The vibes that it gave were very true to the time period and felt lived in and felt real, and that was excellent. And then also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but this is something that I noticed, especially towards the beginning of the movie. Whenever Elio and Oliver are in a scene interacting with each other, the camera work is always from Elio's point of view. So if he's sitting down and Oliver's standing up, the camera is facing up towards Oliver and down towards Elio, and or like same height as Elio. And you know, if they're standing, it's similar, but we still get that like disjointed, like
it's like
Oliver's
at
always a
his
little bit
level.
taller, right? It's always at his level, and it's I noticed it, and I was like, holy shit, like that's phenomenal. It's attention to detail. That's really great.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like just good scenes, just of like, they don't do like an overly complex shot, But it's kind of like that scene where Elio they're looking at the war memorial, and this is like where Elio is saying like that he has feelings for Oliver for the first time,
Yeah.
but it's just like tracking Oliver or not. It's tracking Elio the entire time as he's just walking around this memorial, and Oliver's on the other side. Like shots like that aren't like they're not. It's not a crazy long take, but it's just like it's just
the care.
frames.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the framing is great. I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, any thoughts?
One
on
thing
that
popped out to me is when they were running up the hill, and they actually had the camera like shaking, and like actually the guy was probably running up the hill with the camera. I just find that really interesting in movies, and I do like that. It's just something I noticed.
shaky cam.
Yeah, when the character or the camera is
That's
like.
what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, that's really that was cool. I mean, it was just great.
Yeah, even like I found myself on like men's fashion TikTok. I've seen so many TikToks just about like the wardrobes from this movie. They feel like perfectly dated, but they're also like in right now still.
Yep. No, for sure. And I was like I said, the mise en place is what I was blown away by everything about it. You know, I think my favorite scenes in this movie were at their little pool. Anytime anything was at the little pool. Just see Sam taking pictures in the middle of recording.
Sorry.
It's like, I don't care about what you have to say.
It's like, shut up, my cat's doing something.
Oh my god.
I do the same. Yeah, no, I do like that little pool.
Yeah. No, it's the scenes that they had there were framed very well. They were shot well. It felt great. Yeah. No, phenomenal. I can't talk enough about the visuals.
Are really good.
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna stop talking about the visuals because we're gonna go to the writing.
Probably are.
And this is another area.
I was gonna say we talked a lot about the writing. I think already too a little bit.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, I still have so much more to say.
Yeah.
This is the bulk of my notes.
Oh God. Okay. Go ahead then.
Like the writing is just the way that each relationship is written and like performed is just so well done. Because like that's what's driving the movies. It's not just Oliver and Elio, but there's Elio and Marcia, Elio and his father, Oliver and Elio's father. It's just like everything has, again, like it has purpose. It's not just like, okay, they're there, like, yeah, Elio kind of has a girlfriend, but like it doesn't matter because we're focused on Oliver. Like, because I just love the contrast between like Oliver and Elio, and then when he's with Marcia, because it's very clear that he is just.
We got Kat in the frame again.
She wants to hear about the writing.
Yeah.
Put her on the mic. There's like so many times where it's like, okay, like it's clear like everything Elio thought about himself is just gone now. Like he is just he's trying to figure it out. So he'll have a moment with Oliver. And then he'll have a moment with Marcia. And it never felt like he was trying to overcompensate with Marcia, but they were like, there's that scene where the second time that they had sex, it was very much like he is like doing
He's
everything.
thinking about other things.
Well, I was thinking like he's doing a lot for her. Like he is like the way he was kissing her after they had sex, it was like, okay, like, yeah, this is like a dude who is just like, I'm in this moment and I am super attracted to her. Yeah. But then, like, as you were saying, because that's the scene where Oliver told him to meet him at midnight.
Yep.
You could just see like every 2 seconds he's checking his watch,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of funny. Because it'd be broad daylight, and he's like, "Is it midnight yet?" Nope.
Is it midnight? No. And it's not to say either that like he still had, and they showed really well that he and Elio and Marcia still had something.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't just like he's like I'm not into her, I'm into him. Like he still had these feelings, and he was still into it. He still wanted these experiences with her, but also that pull, that like burning passion of the something taboo was really captured his attention. I thought that was excellently done. Yeah, I mean the writing, every interaction, kind of like you said, every interaction felt genuine. I mean, they stayed true to each other's characters. You know, they made the distinction that, you know, Oliver is this American guy, you know, and he's got different personality, he's got different mannerisms in his speech. The point that they focused on him saying later, yes, was like a big deal, and like you wouldn't think about that, but they handled that well, and they handled, you know, Elio being this kind of loner, but also very passionate about what he does, but then also his dialogue reflects how young he is and inexperienced and doesn't know how to handle his feelings and you know, stuff like that. And that goes all the way through, even to the very end of the movie, where, you know, he's on the phone with Oliver, and he's, you know, he just says his name. He's Elio, like on the phone, like just that, like I can't control myself type of thing. I mean, it's just great. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, especially like, just the experience of like being younger, falling for someone who's much more like, who's older, more mature than you, like understands these feelings better, and then having that kind of ripped away.
Yep.
Like I thought they did a great job of portraying that, because it for whatever reason, it just always seems to hit harder when it's just like, when you're that person who is just like, you're not completely in control of how you feel, kind of don't know why everything's happening the way it is. Like you can kind of see when he's talking, because when Oliver calls him, he's like, yeah, I'm getting married to like this girl back here. And you can see like at first Elliot was joking when he was like, oh, what, you're getting married? And then you just see him like get completely silent before he says his name, and then you have like I don't know if it's a famous last shot, but like of him just crying into the fireplace.
Yeah, I think
that
was
is
shot.
probably that is the one scene that I had known about this movie before seeing it, before even knowing anything about it. Is I knew about that last scene. I didn't know it was the last scene, but I knew about it.
Yeah, he's just it's just seeing stuff on the background still going on. You know, his mom just going around,
You can
just
kind of
going along, just making dinner and stuff like that. And then,
like, you could just see him like processing everything.
That may be my favorite kind of shot in movies, or one of, is like the focus is on the foreground where it's very still, but you can still see life moving in the background. Like things are happening. It's not just like the world is stopped.
It's like he's frozen in time, but the world isn't.
Yeah. I think that's kind of relatable too. I'm sure everybody's experienced something like that sometime in their life.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
multiple times, to be honest.
Hey, yeah, not wrong.
No, and it's like that moment, and then it's like the movie ends. It ends at that note, but it also ends like in an implied promising note of like, okay, well, it sucks now, on. But yeah, life.
And he found he found himself, like who he is, and he's like, all right,
right.
Yeah. It is. So the first time I saw it, very emotional, hit hard. The second time I watched it, though, could not stop thinking about the ending to Pearl. How on the opposite ends of the spectrum, like the emotions are, but just how similar the shot is of them just like crying into the camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think maybe the best scene is after Oliver gets on the train, leaves Italy, and he just has that sit down with his dad.
Yeah, that's a great scene.
Oh my god, like just it, because it also helps because the dad says like, yeah, we knew something was going on. Like, you guys had a very strong relationship. It was we figured it's more than just a friendship. And he's just telling him how like it's good that you feel like heartbroken. It's good that like you're sad because like you don't want to, like, you shouldn't want to trade like feeling bad for feeling numb.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah, it's just
yeah. What was I gonna say?
And it's gone.
Yeah.
It was there, and now it's.
So and going along with that, how like, oh, we know that you guys, you know, have a strong relationship. Pretty much the only scenes we see of Oliver and Elio's dad is them working. So we don't know what went on behind the scenes. Like, did his dad actually talk to Oliver about, hey, what's going on with you and my son, kind of thing? Or
well, because there's that scene where like they're looking at the pictures of the statues, and they just sort of talk about how like sensual they are, and I feel like that was kind of like Elio's dad being like,
yeah.
Oh man, I can just imagine like a scene that they didn't shoot. It was like the dad sits Oliver down. It's like, hey, you fucking my son? And Oliver's like,
yes,
I don't know, am I? Am I fucking your son? And his dad's like, I think you're fucking my son. And Oliver's like, yeah, you're right, I am, yeah. They like high five. They dab each other up. Oh my god.
But no, like that's why I like the dad's character so much, because like all throughout the movie he's a very happy guy, you know. Even like when I forget the name of the couple. Like it's the gay couple who come to visit them for dinner, and like they're having like, it's not even an argument, but it's just like, you're gonna put that shirt on and you are gonna play music. God damn it! Like even the scenes where like they're arguing, like he's still like, it's still like playful.
It's very much out of a place of love, not like.
And that's why like just like when he has that scene of like, he's like, listen, I thought I had that once and I didn't like take it.
Very progressive.
Those feeling. Yeah.
It's a very progressive family.
We stand. But I just, that scene just hits so hard. Like it, movies don't really make me cry that much, but that whole, from that point on, got me.
All right. I mean, it's very true.
Oh, yeah. Last thing I want to say too.
All right.
You notice how like when Oliver and Elio like they're at the train station, they never say goodbye.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a little. I thought it was kind of minor, but it was very like
impactful.
Yeah, because
they didn't even think to say goodbye, because it's like, oh,
they literally like just hug.
Yeah.
And then he gets on the train.
Yeah.
Which it just felt like it was too hard for them to even say it, so they're just like, let's not.
That's fair.
Okay, I actually do have one last thing.
Okay, one last thing.
Yeah. So, it was really funny. There's a scene of him when he first has sex with Marcia.
Almost had sex with Marcia.
No, when he first does.
Oh, okay.
That's a little fast. It immediately cuts to him, like writing the notes to Oliver, who like they haven't been talking. He's like,
oh yes.
He's like, I'm gonna kill myself if you don't talk to me.
It's so edgy.
Yeah, but then Oliver's just like, grow up.
Like, dude,
like, I'll see you at midnight. Like that scene was just so funny to me.
It's like, I'm gonna fucking. It's literally just like,
it's like the thought of
the emo kid. Like, I'm gonna end it all.
That's literally just like the thought of you like ignoring me makes like I'd rather die than hear that. And he's just like, grow up, man. Like,
Dude,
like
it's not that serious.
it was like the perfect like just scene of like just the difference in maturity.
Yep. All right. So
That was it.
that was the last thing. But now that we've done the last thing, we can now get into the last word. Just talk about one. Actually, do we want to go down the list of our scores and then talk about our enjoyment at as our last point, or do we want to let's do it that way. So we're gonna talk about our scores for the top 4, and then each person will give their own little like synopsis of their enjoyment of the movie and give that score, and then we'll tally everything up and figure out our averages. So, Connor, why don't you start?
All right. I gave the acting a 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Very strong all around the board. Story, another 8. Again, there's not much in line of like an actual plot, but I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the concept of it just being watch this relationship develop, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Visuals, 10. I feel like we talked a lot
be,
about it.
Yeah.
And then writing, I gave a 10 to as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then give it your enjoyment score and just a little bit of your overall synopsis.
Enjoyment, 10. Like
right.
this, it's one of those movies where like I want to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
And each time, like I do just buy into all the emotions. Like I was still like, I like when him and Marcia, he's like very like nervous. I still think all that is cute, and then all the stuff with Oliver I think is beautiful, and then the ending is still just devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll still feel that. So 10.
Okay, Sam, why don't you go through your thoughts?
So acting, I gave an 8 out of 10. I think the best 3 performances were, Elio, Oliver, and his dad. Story / concept.
That's very true.
I gave it an 8 out of 10 also. Visuals, 10 out of 10. I was gonna say anything. Writing, I have a 9 out of 10. A couple things that, but for an overall enjoyment, I gave this movie an 8 out of 10. It's not something that I'm gonna go to watch, but I would probably watch again. I did find myself, kind of not really dozing off, but like not really paying attention. More the filler scenes, I think, that we were talking about earlier. So, but yeah.
All right. And for me, my scores are acting is an 8. I already mentioned I was not as connected to anyone but Elio and Oliver, but still, I mean, they carried. So, story / concept, I give it a 7, mainly because of the filler. Too much filler for me. Visuals was a 10. I mean, it was phenomenal. Writing was a 9, and I gave it a 9 only because it wasn't it wasn't up to the same level as oh god. It wasn't up to the same Jesus. Just fucking threw the cat down. No, not that bad. For people who are audio listening, he did not throw his cat. The cat jumped off the desk out of his arms. No, the writing was just not quite as good as the visuals, so I couldn't give it the same score. But my enjoyment was a 9. Like I loved it. Luca Guadagnino is like I need to watch more of his stuff because I was blown away. And he's got a movie coming out this year, Challengers, with Zendaya and Mike Faist. Mike Faist, leading role. I called it. He's coming. Sniped it. Yeah, if you read our article on up and coming actors and actresses, Mike Faist looks good in this movie. So he's coming. So anyways, that's beside the point. But yeah, so I loved it. I would watch it again in a heartbeat. And yeah, so that would be a 9 for enjoyment. Okay, what are the total scores here? Connor, what do you got?
I think mine's a 46 out of 50, which I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. So it lines
out of
up.
50. Plus, Sam, what
My
is your total
is
score?
a 43 out of 50. And I also gave this a
43?
4.5, which lines up.
All right. And I also have a 43, and I believe I gave it a 4.5 as well. So
Oh, it's all in
that
unison.
gives us an average score of a 44, which is just below a 9 out of 10 or a 4.5 out of 5, which lines up pretty damn well with what we were going for.
What were our Moana scores again?
That's a great question.
So I feel like we were a lot more varied. Granted, we did have another guest
yeah,
host.
that's true.
I gave it a 38 out of 50.
But
Yeah, mine was.
I gotta pull up my-
I don't even know where my notes for that were.
I think mine was maybe a 40 out of 50, maybe around there, close to
Yeah,
it.
mine was something. It was something. So, anyways, but this one was definitely higher. I mean, we were all in agreement of how great we were. And before we go, we got to talk about what's coming up next on the next episode. So, the next episode, we're moving into July, and we're moving into a new theme for July. What are we saying it is?
We're throwing it back on summer.
We're throwing it back to summer. And so we're doing classic movies that were released probably, I think our limit was like before 2000 or, right around that time period. And our first movie of throwing it back to summer is Dazed and Confused. I am so excited, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't actually ever seen it, but I've been wanting to watch it, so I'm excited to see it. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching and listening. If you're watching the video version, thank you for watching. If you're listening, thank you for listening. I almost flubbed it, but I caught myself. Thank you so much for listening. It means a lot. We work hard on this, so if you liked it, subscribe on your favorite platform. Give us a follow. Share it with your friends. Do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I want to thank Josh Woodward for our theme music. As always, it's great. We love it. And it's very summery, so kind of fits. I want to also call out our socials. So you can follow the Film Box on pretty much every social media, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. But also you can follow each of us individually on Letterboxd and see what we watch, when we watch it, what we think about it, even beyond the movies for the podcast or movies that we review on the website, and just movies that we see in our free time. So that's pretty cool. And we're pretty up to date on that kind of stuff too. So, and then also the website. If you don't know, we have a website. We do film reviews and articles almost all the time, very frequently, always updating. So if you are thinking about watching a new movie in theaters, check out our website, because chances are we've seen it and we've reviewed it, so you can see if it's good. But yeah, without further ado, I want to end this podcast off not with a joke. I've got movie quotes. I've got summer movie quotes, and I want to end this with a quote. And it goes as follows: "You know it's summer when the ice cream truck starts playing Jaws as it rolls down the street." Bill Murray in Ghostbusters.
I was going to say that's from The Expendables, right?
Well, thank you very much for listening. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
See ya.
Beautiful day, I'm running away. Don't bother to Facebook message or call me, 'cause I'm living life in airplane mode and everything is okay. I just want to play, unplug for the day.